Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloading on it. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go.
Welcome to another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a super late edition. I can't really say super late, but man, I'll tell you what, you go just a little bit off schedule, and people really kind of like, that kind of throws them for a little bit of a loop. I mean, it's fun. Makes you feel kind of good knowing that everybody's like, hey, that shows me that people are watching. So, thank you guys. I just want to throw it out there real quick though. The new job, we are in the busy. Is Dan, I already dropped the link, brother. I'll do it again if that helps you out. But yeah, we're in the busy season now. The busy part of the season. Obviously, we've had a little bit of snow, so everybody's absolutely just tripping out, freaking out. They're going nuts right now. So naturally, as most of you know, I work in a garage. So they as soon as they say snow, everybody needs, doesn't matter that we've had pre-warning. We're going to run right this second to make sure we get there to get our tires put on. And I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Throws the schedule way off, but pays the bills. Speaking of cold, let's welcome our friend to the north, published author of Universal Chronicles Extermination, book 1 of 9, guys. Here's our good friend Dan Lee.
Hello.
You feel a little better now? I made sure to get it right for you, brother.
Excellent. I don't have to show people the baby face again.
Bear in mind, you show us all this really cool stuff. Who's to say that I'm not going to turn around and get a little something for you? And you never know what you're going to find. Could be something as simple as your head on Skeletor's body. Could be
okay. Seriously, like you want to embarrass me, but yet you're putting my head on something cool.
That's what I said. It could be something cool like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be, your body with Pee Wee Herman's head. Who knows? What's going on, brother? How's things going?
So far, so good. Actually, hang on. Oops. As I almost spilled my drink.
Dude, it's absolutely... I love it, man. Everybody was... messaging, wanting to know, you going on tonight? What's up? What's up? And like I said, I mean, it's just with this schedule, dude, it's really hard, especially whenever I get home and I only have like X amount of time to shower, eat, and get out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing when I actually get out on time and I've got the time to do it, but geez, oh man, dude, it's just been, this adulting thing sucks. It's a pain in the ass.
Adulting? What's adulting? I'm just kidding.
Oof. You know, I actually work with a gentleman that I don't know whether to believe him or not, but he does not. Sarcasm is lost on him. He'll admit it. He's not used to sarcasm. He doesn't know what sarcasm is. When, you know. But I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll let him know in a hurry. He's actually, believe it or not, very fluent in it. At least I hope he's being sarcastic and not as pretentious as he comes off as a lot of times.
Well, the thing is, when it comes to sarcasm, though, if he is being sarcastic, you won't know.
Well, therein lies the other fun part. He's constantly asking me, "Is that sarcasm? Are you being sarcastic? Are you being?" Dude,
That's where you sound like, no, I'm not being sarcastic at all.
So, case in point, like I was dismounting a tire off a rim, and as soon as I broke the bead on one side, there was enough air pressure in it. It was a flat, actually. It was almost completely flat. So whenever I released all the air, unbeknownst to me, there was a lot of crap inside the tire. So it came blasting out, hit me in the face. And I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what I was hoping for right there. And he stopped and he looked at me and goes, is that sarcasm? Are you being weird? I'm like, yeah, Dan, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted that tire to explode out the side and shoot all that nasty debris that was inside in my face. And you know what? It's like Christmas morning to me when that happens.
Oh, yeah. My mom gets pissed off with my sarcasms. You know, Lauren.
How are you doing, Miss Nancy? Hopefully, I want to throw it out there real quick, young lady, that me and the missus will be at Grandma's this Thanksgiving, hoping to cook and set up. So hopefully we can talk you guys into it. We'll just throw that out there real quick on a personal note. But yeah, when it's just, there's times I literally, even with him, I don't know when he's being for real or he's just being dense. It drives me up the wall. I just,
well,
he's one of the, you can't really get a read on.
Well, in that case, then rule of thumb is treat him like he's dense. Until he actually tells you, like, why do you keep treating him like I'm dense for? I don't know. I thought you could float on water.
So here's why I say there's a little more pretentious than it is dense. Obviously, the big shocker. Okay, so I'm one of the jokesters at work. I love to crack a good joke. I like to have a good time, fun, always trying to keep people upbeat. And I created a term. I coined a word, and I referred to myself as a master flatician. And he looked at me and he goes, "What's that?" Well, when we get a flat in, basically I'm the best at fixing a flat. Is the short of it, the easiest way to put it. And I kind of, I just made a play. I did a play on words and had some fun with it. So I called myself a master flatician. I didn't expect it to go viral amongst the workers. And at one point, he finally got, I said, don't worry, the master plastician's here too. And he finally looked at me and goes, you really need to stop saying that. Why do I need to stop saying that? What he goes, well, first, it's not a word. And number two, did you really go to all these classes? I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, are you kidding me? It's a joke. What? Because you didn't come up with it, so it's just not. As far as I know, she's doing well. She, I believe she had her surgery a few days ago, and it was a success. And she apparently, as far as I know, she is feeling a lot better, Miss Nancy. You're lucky. You've got this whole publishing thing. You really don't have to. You don't have to work with anybody. You're a one-man wolf pack.
No, not true. I'm working with my publisher / editor. Yeah, I do my things, but she also makes sure that I'm on track, making sure that I'm putting things in there as best as I can. I'm almost the epitome of what a absent-minded person really is. Because when I'm writing my book, I sometimes will swap characters around by accident and have one character who should be in one section of a ship and another character swapped to another section of a ship. Or I'll have one character who shouldn't be even on the ship. It's like, oh, whoops. Or I'll even once in a while I'll forget to include a scene that I should have put in there, or a little dialogue explain something. So my publisher really / editor, she's excellent. She's helped me out quite a bit. Right now she is going through my second book. I will tell you right now, she thoroughly enjoys my second book. Apparently it's a lot better than my first one.
So I have to ask you, you do not have I know you're saying she, but they always refer to them as a yes man. You have somebody that will actually tell you, dude, this I don't think so. This book's going to flop, or this doesn't work, or something like that. They're going to tell you their opinion to the best of their ability, or as we say on here, it could be the alcohol talking.
Yeah. Well, fortunately for me, what it is that when I'm working with my publisher / editor, and I keep saying publisher / editor because she does those two roles for me. But she also has a husband who is into the sci-fi stuff. He, if I remember correctly, I think he owns a comic book store. So or works at a comic book store. I can't remember. But either way, though, he is involved in that. And then she has a teenage daughter who she lets read. So so my book's supposed to be for young adults. So it's really, for her, it's like I have it's like almost a good team right there. Granted, she's looking through it and working with me, but she understands how to work with somebody with ADHD a lot better. She's like, oh yeah, she knows how my brain works sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Because it is true. It's like I will say that's probably one of the bigger issues for me when I'm writing my book is my ADHD gets in the way. Because I really do have to struggle to motivate myself. So the fact that I got 2 books at now is a miracle in itself. I mean, it's I don't know, Bill, if you had any interaction with somebody with ADHD before.
Dude, so back in my early, we're talking single digits. I was 8, 9 years old at the time. I was actually diagnosed with ADHD, hyperactivity, you name it. I probably everything they could label a child with, they did. But like you, and I found out that my uncle was kind of the same way. The one thing that kind of helped us was burying our faces in books. Didn't matter what the book was. I was constantly, if somebody had a bookshelf, I was constantly over there. You know, I'd flip through, find something that would interest me, and then sit down. And I mean, I get lost in it. I used to love to read. I love, turning pages was awesome. One of my favorite things about school was going to library. You know, I was borderline geek. Now, does that mean I didn't like TV? Oh, hell no, dude. Trust me. Like, you know, trust me, I grew up during Saturday morning cartoons and, you know, sitcoms and stuff like that. Family sitcoms that you would sit down and every, you know, Monday through Friday. But at the same time, you know, because of my hyperactivity, you know, if I wasn't sitting down reading, trust me, I was wanting to be outside running anywhere I could, whether it be to the local library. I'd go to the park. I was constantly playing basketball. I had to get out and just walk around town, anything, just to keep up and moving. So,
that was me when I was younger too. Then again, though, I always liked climbing. Like when we used to have a tree in the backyard where I live, I usually like to climb that. If we were at parks, I would try to climb a tree. I would climb anything. You know, it's not because I was. Well, actually, it's more so because I could. It's like, I'm going to climb this thing today, and then I'll get told, don't climb that. But it was exactly that, though, so I can burn off some energy.
I liked climbing trees, don't get me wrong, but I was more of a, you know, if I could find a trail to hike or, you know, ooh, look at that pipe. I can see the other side. Can I, you know, am I able to get through there without getting wet because, you know, it's a drainage pipe. You know, oh, it's going underneath the interstate. Oh, cool. Let's see if I can make it. You know, at the park, the stream kind of runs through it. So, oh wait, we just had spring thaw. All the ice is, you know, melted. It's a nice day. It's, you know, it's 60 degrees out, so it's warm enough. Hey, look, a giant burn pile. Is that a mattress on there? Can we float on that mattress down the Connoquenessing Creek? Oh, yeah, you can. Both me and my stepbrother, right out on the water we went. We were loving life. We had the big stick, was, you know, think Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, dude. We were just all about it. And about 2 minutes later, we realized something. Hey, is the corner of this dipping a little hard? Wait a minute. Why does the water seem like it's coming up and over so much? Thank God it's not a very deep creek. It really isn't. It on a good day, it's about waist deep, which, you know, spring thaw, yeah, that water was cold. So the mattress actually waterlogged naturally. We didn't know any better. Never dawned on us. You know, common sense as a kid, yeah, to hell with that.
Well, let me ask you this question right here. How many kids do you know had actually common sense back then?
Oh, man. I mean, you had enough common sense to know that, like, man, that water looks like it's moving very, very fast. Do you know how deep it is right there? No? Okay, let's not go near it. You know, dude, let's climb this tree. I don't know. The only way to get up there is to grab that branch, and it's not looking very sturdy.
Hey, Bill, before you finish that question, can you do me a favor? Can you move over it slightly that way? Because I have two screens apparently. That way for you. Because I have two screens apparently on. Nope, the other way. Yeah, there you go. You're almost center in that. And this, because I have this other screen apparently. I don't know what you did, but there's another screen, and like looks like it's for the phone, and it's like a little bit thinner. And I'm centered, but you weren't. You're like half. You're like kind of like this, almost like on the other screen.
Oh, wait, hang on. Well, I'll fix it here in 1 second.
Actually, hang on. I got an idea too.
Is there any animosity / division between the Inuit and First Nation where you are? I'm assuming that's directed at you.
Probably. And now you see what I'm talking about, Bear Bill. You see that extra screen on the side of that I'm looking at?
I do, and
And that's what I mean. Like, you are not centered in that one. In this one here, you're not centered. That's why I was asking if you could do it, because it's like I can see it at the side of my eye, and it's like it was bugging me. I will say that's probably one of my other traits I have. I love a little bit of OCD. Robert, I'm going to answer you that question right now, but first, give me a second. Just waiting for Bill.
So unfortunately, I cannot fix that. I must have hit something. So StreamYard has done something brand new here. Is that better?
Yeah. Oh, that's much better. You're now centered.
Okay, so StreamYard's done something new now, and whenever you sign in, you have to. It tells you to pick a category, and it wants either landscape or vertical. And I noticed that YouTube has both landscape and vertical, which is what they recommend. And I'm like, okay, let's not do that, because I don't know how I haven't messed around with the vertical, and I must have clicked that one by mistake, because I just tried to change it and it will not let me without getting back out. So I'll know better for later.
Yeah, well, at least now you know, like, yeah, if you're on there, I mean, like I said, I'm always centered because I got where my camera is on my screen. So I'm always going to be centered anyways. But for you, I think you set your camera up, though, and or is your camera, like, permanently set up, or do you move it around or well?
I can move it around wherever.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying. But right now, actually, it's a pretty good view on that side, because you're now right in front of your bar, your alcohol section.
Perfect.
So. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack on that one. Robert, just to answer your question on that one, is there any animosity / division between the Inuit and First Nations where I'm at? Not that I know of, no. But this, though, I'm not too caught up in the political stuff within the First Nations things. I try to be. But here's the thing: I was actually born as I was a 60 Scoops survivor. So for me, it's one of those things where I actually didn't get too involved with my one half of my culture. So I'm just learning still on that too. But from my understanding and from what I'm seeing, I honestly do not see any animosity or division where I am. But if there is, I'm sorry to hear that. That's the best I can do, right? I can't speak on a subject that I don't know.
Hey, look at it this way. At least it lets you know that people are showing an interest of your area, so that's always a big positive. Good question, though, Bobby. Good question. Blue, what's going on, brother? And how was the game? I noticed, when I left work, I saw all the vehicles. They were flying up my road here to get to the school. The school's literally like 100 yards from my back door. Grove City College lost to Pitt Greens. Okay. Oh, so you went to the college game, not the. Okay, gotcha. Blue, in case you haven't noticed, is one of our sports gurus. I mean, he absolutely. This is one of his favorite times of the year. He always is running around. He'll go to the college games. He goes to a lot of the high school games. He actually keeps score for the high school games.
Oh, nice.
In the springtime, he does baseball. So he keeps score for the local baseball team. He does. He stays fairly busy in the sports world, which is why we have him on here on Thursday nights.
That's a good thing. So, Bill, question for you.
Yes.
So, did you want to talk about that subject matter that I mentioned to you before? Did you watch those videos?
I did watch those videos, and it's not the first time I've seen that.
I think we may give your viewers here some context to what we're talking about. I'll let you do it. It's your show.
So here's I got some videos sent to me. I never got an opportunity to download them. Normally, something like that, I'll download like the video so they can actually see it firsthand. One of the videos that was sent to me was of a security guard stopping a woman that was paying more attention to her phone than where she was walking, and she literally almost walked off the platform or a platform in front of a they called it a trolley, but dude, that looked more like, kind of above ground Amtrak train, it just takes you from one spot of the city to the other.
Yeah.
So what was fun about that one is she turned around and sued the security guard for sexual misconduct because he grabbed her in an inappropriate way. And what's funny about that is, should you see this video, he grabs her by the arm and yanks her back. I don't even think his hands went to her chest anywhere. It seriously just looked like he grabbed a hold of her arm, grabbed her by the jacket, and jerked her back by the shoulder.
Also,
now this poor... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was say, now this poor man is being sued by this woman with her claiming that he touched her inappropriately. So let's see what, real quick. Wow, that's cool. I've never met a 60s Scoop Kid.
Yeah. I'll answer that question. Yes, I did. I did get a cut of the half billing settlement.
That's awesome. Little father-daughter time. She's getting into basketball. Dude, that's cool to hear. But yeah. I first heard about this stuff when I was going through, I can't remember which time it was. I was going through CPR and first aid training. And now one of the things they want you to do, they tell you in training, you have to ask the person, can I help you? Let's say I'm at a restaurant and I go over and somebody gives that universal sign for choking.
Hmm.
I actually, they tell you to ask them, can I get your permission to help? Can I help you? They also tell you that, when you're doing, say you find somebody unresponsive, they're on the ground, they're not breathing, you got to give them chest compressions. Chances are very strong you're breaking ribs. Because, you do have to put quite a bit of pressure down there. You have to keep the blood flow to the heart. You have to work the lungs, the whole deal. And there have been times where people, they've given, yes, see, Steve says yes.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is also a former first responder. There's been times where after helping somebody, those people have turned around and sued the person helping for medical expenses because they had to go in there with broken ribs or, something happened. They had bruises, whatever. Yeah, and what bothers me about this is, it's getting worse and worse. Aha.
Mm-hmm.
So, Blue, you have experience with somebody going after you for helping them. I've got so many, I'm trying to say this as calm and, within reason, without sounding like, I'm going off on a complete rant. But what the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, that's exactly it right there, right? For example, the other video I seen and I sent to you is the guy who caught a child from falling out of a balcony. the child sustained little injuries because of the impact when he caught him, but he got an ambulance and whatnot. He was staying there with the child, but the mother turned around and sued the guy because apparently the kid was, got injured when he caught him. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, so let me get this straight. The mother would have heard if the guy just not caught the child and let the child go. And it was like half a dozen one, half a dozen the other. And this is, and I know you don't want to go on a rant. I'm trying not to do that myself as well right now. But the thing is, though, is that it's getting to the point where natural selection is probably needed these days for some of these people. I mean, for example, like the person who's example you say, if a person's choking, okay. When this is actually a little bit of a sidetrack, a little bit like history lesson, but when I was younger, I actually got myself I went to a babysitting course, and yes, I got a 99% average, but that's because of one question I got wrong, and it actually relates to what we're talking about. The question I got wrong was, do you ask a child if they're choking? The answer I put down was no. If the child's choking, you do CPR. The correct question was, yes, you ask the child if they're choking, because the reason for that is because you don't know if they're just faking or not. 9 out of 10 times, if you see an adult choking, they're not actually faking it, they're actually choking. Well, you would hope.
Yeah, okay, so the Good Samaritan law, basically, if it is a true life or death situation, it's one thing if the person they're choking, but they're still able to catch their breath just enough. They're not fully, they're coughing. Okay, and then there's that, okay, these guys have already turned, they're red. His eyes are, he's about done. He's not breathing. That's why they ask you, or they tell you to ask them to help. Now that part I understand, okay? But if it's, let's say I walk in, I'm heading back towards the bathroom of a restaurant, and one of the waiters thought he was going to be smooth and grab something real quick, and before anybody catches him, he put it in his mouth real fast, tried to chew it up, and for whatever reason it got lodged. And by the time I find him, he's already on the floor. He's unresponsive. You do the finger swipe. You check. Hey, he's not breathing. Okay, I see this. I've noticed there is an object lodged in his throat. At that point, yeah, hit it and go. You're not asking questions. You're full gone.
No, I agree.
That's where the Good Samaritan law comes into play. They're not, let's say I'm giving chest compressions, trying to get it out. I pick him up real quick, and what I don't know is he has a hernia, or he's got an ulcer, and now I've just compressed that spot, and I did a little bit of damage there. Well, fact of the matter is, when I found him, he was unresponsive, so he couldn't answer.
Right, exactly. I mean,
basically, the rule of thumb is if they can answer you, then it is you need to do what you need to do to keep them conscious for the time being. If they're already unresponsive, that's where the Good Samaritan law comes into play. So, I mean, it's iffy, it's touchy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. But unfortunately, though, like I said, there's other incidents that we heard about, right? Because I agree with them that part right there. If they're conscious enough that they can answer, just like the child, that thing I talked about, the child choking and whatnot, ask them, obviously. But if they're not responsive, do what you need to do. But you shouldn't be punished for helping, though. That's the thing. And I don't know where if here where I'm at, we have that whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard that too. CPR is now mainly compressions. There's no more mouth to mouth. It also depends on who's teaching it. Like the Red Cross will say compressions only, and then you'll get these other certified that'll say, no, you're going to do the compressions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 breaths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 breaths.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing. It really is. But like you said, when these people turn around and they, you know what, thank you for saving my life. Now give me money for saving my life. I can't imagine why a judge would even allow that in court. Now, if it was, like I said, if it was a situation where they're still responsive, they're talking, just because they're having a little bit of trouble breathing, all right, you stay beside them, you call 911, you do what you. That doesn't mean try to be that hero.
Yeah,
I guess now that I'm talking about it, I could see certain situations. Let's say we were talking about common sense. So let's say there's a child with his head stuck in a fence. Instead of being that asshole that's going to go over there and just, put some soap behind his ears and let's just yank him loose, instead of waiting for the fire department to show up with a saw and cut the bars, cut the wood, something like that. There are certain circumstances.
Oh yeah,
What
exactly.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly, because I agree. Common sense is needed. I mean, if a child's head is stuck between bars, one, holy crap, that if depending on how big the bars are, and how the hell did he get his head stuck in there in the first place? But two, as long as they still breathe, yeah, just get help from someone else. Don't risk damaging the kid or damaging, in some cases, an adult on trying to get the head out of there.
But here's where I find it, this is where I start to really get pissed off. The video clearly showed, it's security camera. They obviously they're going to have it on the platform. There's a big yellow line that says stay behind this line until you enter the train. This individual was literally face deep in their phone, not paying any bit of attention, and literally was walking not only off the platform, but in front of a moving vehicle.
Exactly.
And that man literally saved them, from harm. Mm-hmm. And then to turn around and say, sexual misconduct?
Well, that's the weird part right there. It's like, why the fuck, excuse my language, but why the fuck would you do that in the first place? Like, why would you turn around and sue the guy? I mean, the guy should be, saying, thanks for saving my life. And in a split second, you're not going to stop and go like, how should I grab the person? Oh, I know, I'll gently put my hand on them and do this. When you're watching the video, there was no time to react. He had to do what he had to do to make sure she wasn't dead. But in that kind of circumstance right there, I'm pretty sure the guy was like, if, let's say that dumb person who sued him, won. At that point right there, I think people should be like, oh, okay, well, no, I could have saved them, but I didn't want to get sued. That's what I mean. Natural selection should be a thing these days.
To me, people are way too eager to find the quick, easy money. So they're going to do, it doesn't matter if they cut your legs out from underneath you. This is where we're at nowadays. People are extremely cutthroat. Mm-hmm. It's to the point where you cannot do anything without offending somebody else. There is absolutely zero you can do. I've seen.
People these days are getting offended for minuscule type things. It's like, I don't like. I'm going to use this as an example. I never had this happen to me. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I probably will. It's like, for example, let's say, I don't like you and your red tie. Your red tie offends me because it reminds me of Pee Wee Herman or reminds me of something else. It was like, all I had to say to them, good, go piss off somewhere else then. You know,
Well,
it's
you've
like,
also, I know most of us have seen these videos of people going off on airplanes, going off on buses because somebody's wearing a Biden shirt, a MAGA hat, you know, any of these. I mean, it's just, and then they feel the need, you know, that it's appropriate to go ahead and take the hat. Like, this is my favorite one, is where people will actually go over and take the hat off somebody's head and run with it.
yeah, well, exactly. It's one of those things. Like, why you know, if they're not bugging the shit out of you, leave them the fuck alone. That's all I have to say. You know, don't. Who cares if a person's wearing a MAGA hat? You know, are they spewing out their views on everyone else? Are they trying to push it onto everyone else doing that thing? No, they're there to go from point A to point B. As soon as they start spewing out, okay, fine. You know, try to find a reasonable solution around it. You know, instead of going to either fisticuffs or having a yelling match. You know, like, who cares if you're wearing a Biden shirt or Biden hat, MAGA hat, you know, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. The point is that people have to stop being so offended by a lot of things these days. You know, like, there's things out there that we're losing out on because people are getting too offended. People are getting too offended on simple things that shouldn't be offended on. You know, we're kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, the other video I saw, pretty much the same incident. Oh, hang on. Well, I'll get to your question there in a second. Robert just sent a response right there.
So you're telling me when I hold the door open for someone walking in the store that I am not entitled to give them a pat on the bottom as they walk past?
That's a different scenario there, Robert Casino.
I mean, just
I mean, it's
I
not.
don't know about entitled. Hey,
This is not football, there, Robert. Let's put it that way.
is this a buddy? Anybody that watched our friend Michael Copenhaver's one of his skits he did on stage, you know, he said, "Hey, you can slap somebody in the butt, and as long as you say, hey, good hustle, you can get away with it." You know, last time I hold any door open. Well, therein lies the other thing. I mean,
Well, yeah.
let me throw a scenario out. You hold a door for somebody, and God forbid you bump into them. You know, I mean, that's a whole nother, you know, anything can offend anybody at any point anymore. And it's
Right, exactly. I mean, that's why, and I'm not trying to.
out of control.
It's not like I'm trying to do this, but when I write my book, I know there are going to be some people out there who are going to be offended by what they read in this book. You know, because I'm not. You know, I already know some people are. You know, someone actually was offended by my book because I wrote it because. And I'm not going to get into that because that's a totally different subject matter. But let's put it this way. I know some people are going to be offended by it because they're going to be like, oh, why'd you put this in there? You know, I write it in such a way that some people probably won't even notice. But you're right, though. People are getting offended too easily these days. They're getting, I don't know.
And it's not just offended, it's the hypocrisy that really gets on my nerve, you know. Case in point, I had an individual, there's been multiple times they thought it would be cute to come over and belch in my face. And at one point, this individual, you know, they called me over. I thought, okay, I'll go over and help you. They said, come here a second. So as I leaned forward, this individual got right in my face and just let one fly. And, you know, I kind of shrugged it off. I laughed. The same individual thought they were going to be cute the other day, and they came by and stuck their ass right up on my leg and let loose twice. And then turned around and went, I crop dusted you. Later on in the day, we're in the break room. And I'm one of those ones, I do chew very loud. Okay, so you can hear me chewing. I'm just I don't know. I've always been like that.
Mm.
And especially when I'm trying to rush through because all right, they got us lunch, we're slammed. I'm gonna eat real quick and then hurry up and get back to work. I don't have time for a lunch break. I'm grabbing something to put in my stomach and I'm done. This individual thought they were gonna be cute and sit there and I am so disgusted. Oh, you chew with your mouth open. And I'm like, no, I did not. I'm usually the one that goes off on people who sit there and, just and well, I'm going off on you about it. I'm like, all right, at this point, you really need to chill. No, you need to chill and not give me, and, the hypocrisy again,
Mm.
Let's go to something that everybody has seen. How many times have we seen on the news, about a protest nearby? We're not going to get into too many specifics on that one, but everybody knows what protests, we've seen. But there are certain ones where you've seen protests for and against a certain thing. And God forbid those people that are protesting against it. Because then, all of a sudden, they're spewing hate. They're taking our rights. There's nobody can converse anymore.
No.
There is no communication amongst people. It's either one side or the other. And everybody's mentality anymore is if you're not with me, you're against me.
I agree with you on that one right there. Let's bring up one subject matter that you and I both know about that really pisses us off: TikTok. Okay. Let me ask you this question: how many times can you say death, hell, kill, explosion, bomb? How many times can you say that on it? You can't.
Let's keep it simpler than that. What is the name of this show?
Another Shot Podcast.
What am I not allowed to say on there?
Well, let's put it this way for everyone to hear: another Pew Pew Podcast.
Or another Tiny Glass, another. They literally, as a gift, have a money gun. But you cannot say money gun. You're not allowed to ask for, they call it begging. You can't ask for it, but then, what's that one?
What up, Mike Best?
Well, that's the fun part about, if I was on like YouTube, if I was actually watching it on my phone or something, I'd be able to see who's all on there. But, when I'm just on StreamYard, it just shows me, how many viewers I've got and where they're at.
Yeah, well, right now, if this helps you, on your Another Shot Podcast, you got 5 viewers right now watching. I'm watching on my phone.
But what's funny is you said you also had 2 screens. So were you watching it on YouTube?
No, it's I'm on the StreamYard thing, so I can see this on this that side of the whole thing.
I got nothing. But no, like I said, uh-oh.
Kat, you're missing a good conversation right now. We're talking about things that offend people. And
she's not missing it. She's right there. And I do apologize, sweetie. I meant to call you back the other night, and Monday got hectic as all crap. It really did. I didn't even get to go on TikTok because by the time I got everything set up and ready, it was already so late that I just went, you know what? I got to get up in the morning. So, we can get away with tonight because all's right in the world again. I have off tomorrow.
Excellent. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, Kat, you must have some good stories to tell us right there about listening to people getting offended about things. But yeah, TikTok is a good example, as you were saying, Bill, because it is definitely a hypocritical app. I mean, I love the app, but it's so hypocritical. For example, I can say, please shop at Walmart for this. You, on the other hand, cannot. You have to talk about TikTok shop.
Kat, I don't know if you know this, but Sunday night I got flagged again because I was talking about making purchases, and I brought up us creating merch ourselves, and I got the little notification up top saying, "Hey, nobody can search this show. This is your punishment because you were talking about basically purchasing and selling outside of TikTok." So the rest of the show, I literally every chance I got. So make sure you check out the TikTok shop and get your bottle of Jefferson bourbon.
Mm-hmm. And then here's the hypocritical part right there. I can turn around and say, or you can buy it at Walmart or buy it at this place here. Why? Because I'm Canadian and Canada does not have TikTok shop. And I say that all the time when I'm on live sometimes. It's one of those, I don't have TikTok shop here in Canada. TikTok is really missing out on a lot of things. And unfortunately, I'm like, Bill, I can actually say, like, I can buy that over there. I can buy that over at the store. Pretty good. But yeah, no, like I said, TikTok is really hypocritical. They get offended. They tell you what you can and cannot say. It's almost like, and it's, pretty much what all these people out there in the world right now are doing, in outside of TikTok. It's like you go to one place and next thing you know, you say, for example, let's say you bump into somebody and how to put this? Okay, prime example. Okay, I was talking to a friend of mine while shopping, and I was talking to them and I was saying, yeah, so how are they doing? And this person thought I was talking to them and said, I am not a they, I am not a them. I'm a him or a Mr. And they were going off on the whole, don't give me all that nonsense of gender neutral crap. I'm like, dude, one, mind your own fucking business. Two, don't be a freaking closed-minded individual. And three, piss off. Like there's no need to be offended by that. Granted, like I kind of wish that. I mean, this is my own personal thing. Like I said, I have no qualms about it, but I like using grammar. They, them. For me, it just means a group of people. Not an individual. I always find that confusing whenever I talk to somebody. Like, what about them? It's like, am I going to offend this person for saying, what about them? Anyways, I can go on that right there.
Yeah, you don't want to get me started on pronouns, but I will touch on what you just said though. So they tell you at work, always be careful what you say because you never know who's listening.
Hmm?
And there was a group of us standing outside. A couple of them were vaping. We were all laughing and joking. It was kind of a slow part. This is before the busy. And somebody said, I think there was like 4 or 5 of us standing in a big circle. I'm like, so does anybody else see gangbang? Or does anybody else thinking the term gangbang is appropriate right now? And everybody cracked up. We all started laughing about it, and next thing you know, somebody else is like, "Well, who's first in line?" and who's going to be in the middle, and then next thing you know, so there was a horse trailer behind all of us, and the door came flying open, almost like the individual inside kicked it open. and stood there, so dramatic, like the door flies open, they're standing there just like this, glaring at us. And we're all, all of us are like, then here come the snickers. We're all like, really, did that just happen? And next thing you know, this individual was like, yeah, I heard what was said. And we all kind of went, okay, what did you hear? And that's when yours truly gets singled out. Gangbang? Really? Not a fan. We're all like, now we're laughing, which is now pissing off this person.
I guess the person's kink is not that, so at least you know that.
It was like, you don't talk. What did they say? You don't talk to your employees that way. Okay, that is where the eruption happened. Like, everybody lost their mind laughing so hard. And I could not help myself. I'm like, all right, guys, yeah, you heard him. Time to go back to work. And every one of them just ran with it. It's like, yep, yeah, we got you, boss. Okay. So it was just.
I actually do have a story. I just remembered something right now, too. This is a perfect example of people getting too offensive on things. Okay, so just to give you a heads up on this. So what happened was I was working at the Science Center where I live. Okay, I just got the job. I was like, yay, I get to work at a Science Center. Me working at a Science Center? Dream come true. Yes. Okay. I got asked a few times. Okay, so I'm going to give you, before I tell you what happened, I got asked a few times where I used to work. This is how I always do it. I said I used to work at a movie company. I used to work at a company that cleaned electronics. I used to work at a coffee shop. I used to work at a couple of grocery stores. I worked at an adult store. I worked at a construction place. Did I say anything in there that was offensive on your standpoint?
I could see the one thing, finally, somebody getting all tickled over. And that would be when you said you worked in an adult store.
Exactly.
And that immediately, that was the trigger point. Promo 1 done and promo 2 done. Dan.
Ask Bill. This is his live. This is his podcast there, Ninja. Dylan. Sorry, Dylan, his name is Ninja. I usually call him that. But yes.
I call him Ninja. We know. Let's just call him DC. It
DC.
sounds cool. We'll call him DC from here on out.
Yes, DC will. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was, because I got asked so many times. And then we're at this, and like I said, I only worked for 2 days. But then I got asked another time too about, they were asking about safety protocols. When you're working by yourself, what do you do? And I said, well, I remember working at the adult store. This is what we had to do. Okay, these are all innocent little things. And it's like nothing else for me to say, because that's what the store was called. I mean, I could say you
didn't call it a porn shop. You didn't call it a sex shop. You didn't say what you were selling. You just said it's an adult store. That could be anything. I mean, it could have been a liquor store. I mean, honestly, but that probably would offend somebody too,
Well, exactly, and that's what it was too. And just to clarify too, there's people there who actually openly admitted they do the white angel dust. They talked about that openly. Okay, and then you have someone there who would also tell you oh, feel it here. Apparently, I'm missing a bone, and they'll actually guide your finger down there. They'll actually talk about, oh, we used to fool around. We used to put lights, and when we had this display there showing the anatomy of people, we actually would play with the lights and shine up on the women anatomy. And I'm like, really? And then you get offended by me talking about where I used to work? Come on, give me a break. Apparently, that's where they said I was swearing too much, though. That's what they said. They said swearing.
So here's where it gets fun. Let's get one thing out of the way. Ninja, I did go ahead and drop the link. If you want to come on here and show the promo, hey, I'm constantly pushing his book. So if you want to, you're more than welcome to. I'll drop the link again if you need it.
Oh, I'm not
Now,
even done yet.
just so people know, like, the listeners on Spotify, or whoever's just listening, to keep it 100 and keep it down the middle. That is exactly why they tell you, watch what you say in the place of business, because you never know who's standing nearby.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even
We
done
were
yet.
wrong for joking like that because obviously we didn't know. And, especially today, it's so easy to offend. The thing that really got to us, though, was how dramatic they were.
Mhm.
And obviously they didn't send out any formal complaints or anything like that. They just, they felt the need to come out there and, they were trying to flex their muscle.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it was a reason to bitch. Now, were we in the wrong for joking like that? Yes, we were, because again, place of business. But that was us being complacent. We got too comfortable, and we just let whatever fly. We were just having a good time. Again, my favorite word, camaraderie.
Oh, yeah.
It's how they reacted that I brought that scenario up. But like I said, I also wanted to use that to let people know, I do keep it right down the middle. So were we wrong for joking like that at work? Yes, we were.
Yeah.
But it's not the first time that, something's been brought up that somebody, has, I've had it happen at the Mustang when I was, DJing there. I've been walking through the store joking with my friends, and I've had store clerks come over and, I don't think you need to be talking like that. Yeah, well, nobody's paying you to tell me how to talk. Thank you. See ya.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah,
Now,
no,
I
exactly.
do try my best to, I try not to be too obnoxious when I'm out and about. Now, I mean, each setting's different. Like if I'm at a grocery store, I'm not walking around talking about, let's just be crude about it. The fat bitch I fucked the other night. I try to keep my conversation civil. I try to keep a calm voice. I just try and, just because, like I said, I mean, that's one of the ways I was raised, to kind of mind what you say.
Well, exactly. But yeah, no, I just want to finish up what I was saying there, Bill, too.
Sorry, buddy.
That's okay. Because it gets worse. Because just so you know, like I said, I only worked there for 2 days and I got fired. And what happened was the other time was that, and I should have, mind my, my P's and Q's, but this other part wasn't the issue though. But apparently what happened was that I also got told that I was, what's it called? A phobe or something, a transgender phobe, or whatever it is. And I'm like, I am not a transgender phobe. What had happened was, ADC, that's okay. Just come on up anyways and share us the audio. We all love to hear it. But yeah, apparently I got called a gender phobe because what happened was that we had, so basically what happened for this is that we had 2 people come in. Okay. And one of them was going to use the bathroom. One of the co-workers stopped and said, "Oh, excuse me, sir, that's the women's bathroom." The person turns around and says, "I am a woman," and proceeds in the women's bathroom. The other employee that was there said, "Yeah, you really got to be careful with that." And I just learned of this new law or bylaw that was here in Canada that was passed, apparently. Bill C-16 or Bill C-11. And what ended up happening was that I mentioned them what was going on. I said, yeah, apparently you can get in trouble for even misgendering somebody. You can actually and go to jail for it. Cat's not here, there, DC. if you send it to me, then
if you would pay attention to the show a little bit more, you'd realize that Kat, my producer, is not here.
Mhm.
So
But
you
yeah,
know, I'm sure she's gonna enjoy it. Honestly.
yeah. So when that happened was that I was like, because I knew the law. I'm like, okay, so I explained to them like, yeah, you gotta be careful. All this. I said, do I agree with it? No. I said, because someone asked for my opinion, I'm like, I'm always going to tell them the truth. I said, I don't agree with this law, just so you know, because I think if you identify as one gender or anything like that, please just let us know politely. If we get upset at you because we don't agree with you, okay, fine, that's understandable. But if you let's say example, Bill, let's say you identified as, I don't know, as a Zer. That's a word. That's a name. But let's say you identified as a Zer, and I didn't know that, but I saw you come to my place of work, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, sir, can I help you?" So scenario one, either you get upset with me saying, "I am not a Sir, I am a Zer," and then according to the law, you have the right to go and actually sue me or get me charged and put in jail for misgendering you. That's that bill that was passed. Okay, so that's what I don't agree with. Now, so the second scenario is you can be all polite and said, "Oh, excuse me, I don't identify as a Sir. Can you please identify as a Zer?" I will try my utmost best to call you by your preferred gender name, your preferred pronoun. But I should not be expected to guess your pronouns. I shouldn't be, because I grew up where politeness was a thing. Like, for example, can I help you, ma'am? Can I help you, sir? That kind of stuff, right? And I could say they proclaim themselves as they. Yeah, that too. It's like, so anyway, so I explained that to them. I said, this is my opinion. Well, unfortunately, somebody was walking past, and this is exactly what you're saying. You have to be careful what you're saying because you never know who's around here listening. But they didn't hear the whole story. They actually went to the boss, the manager there, and actually told him that I was a transgender phobe because I do not agree with people's pronouns. I'm like, that's not what I said. I said I don't agree with the law because we shouldn't be punished for misgendering somebody. We should be, if, for example, like the law should be like, oh, okay, well, if I'm getting upset or if I start getting violent at somebody and I start yelling at them, okay, fine. Then I pretty much says, okay, fine, I can go to jail. And you cannot call yourself a DC. I'm offended by that right now because I identify myself as Batman. I wear all black all the time, so I should jump for the. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so what ended up happening was I got called into the manager's office. I don't know what the heck this guy was doing, but he actually said, "Okay, just so you know, Dan, we had a couple complaints about you. Apparently, you're a transgender phobe, and you were swearing too much." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh, and you were making some people feel uncomfortable." I'm like, "In what way?" They're like, "Well, the uncomfortableness came from this one person because apparently you were hovering over them." I'm like, when they were showing you how to use this keyboard. Here's the thing. The keyboard was underneath a desk. There's me and a few other staff members hovering around this person, watching carefully, and I'm taller than this person, so I'm looking over the shoulder, going like this, watching them work the computer. I asked the question. Okay. Apparently, they did not like that, and that's where I made them uncomfortable and where I creeped them out. I did not realize you can get fired for creeping someone out, even on an innocent thing, without being asked what happened.
And that's the other thing. PR is a huge thing right now. And, I read, dude, again, we can go a whole nother hour on this subject. I mean,
maybe we should take this for part 2 for next week. How's that sound?
Sunday night's coming up. No,
Yeah, so, at least you get more people that part too. Maybe Blue will join us, and then we can have a nice question with that, or Hooper. Get his opinion.
Lord help us all on that one.
But
No,
yeah. So anyway, but just to finish up real quick. But yeah, I got fired because apparently I swore too much. I asked them, "What do you mean I swore?" They said, "Well, you said it 3 times. You said you worked at an adult store. That's swearing." I creeped someone out for looking over the shoulder and trying to figure out how to work the computer while everyone else was doing the same thing. And apparently I'm a transgender phobe, even though the person who complained about me didn't see the whole scenario. So I'm like, so I got fired from the science center after 2 days. So much for them being open-minded. It's like, but yeah, no, it's like I said, I
again,
can go on.
it is way, way too easy to offend, to trigger. But on that note, there are a lot of people. Dude, I see you being more of a Lois Lane. Come on, we all know it.
Are you kidding? He already has his head shaved.
Why's he got to be Lex Luthor? He could be Professor Xavier. I mean, for all we know, he could borrow Blue's wheelchair and be good to go.
True.
Uh-oh.
Careful, Blue might get offended by that.
Lord help us all, right? No,
Yeah. Oh wait, you don't have a PR for yourself, though. That's good.
No, and that's, I mean, when you're in the public eye, I mean, like, even doing this, okay, this is where me and my former partner in crime kind of went back and forth. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there are a lot of rules. Are we talking Linda Carter, or are we talking...
What's her name? I know who you're talking about, too.
Gail, is it Gail Gadot? My belief is you're born a male, you're a male. You're born a female, you're a female. Sorry, not sorry. And again, everybody's allowed their opinion, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how I was raised. But the thing of it is, here's where that, I'm going to respect boundaries. All I ask is don't try and shove it down my throat, okay? If you want to go around and say you're born a male, but you've always been a female, so now you're wearing dresses and you want to go and do all that, that's fine. Okay, you do you. I'm not going to judge you for that. I'm really not. I that doesn't make me, not want to know you as a person. That doesn't make me, for all I know, you could be, another comedian, somebody funny, somebody I can get along with. I mean, okay. Both are good, but Carter is older now and still damn good looking. At the end of the day, dude, next Wednesday we'll talk about Marvel versus DC. I mean, obviously we're gonna have to really, but no, see.
You know what?
Here's the thing: I could say that all day long, but I mean, there's not a day that goes by where you don't hear about a protest. You don't hear about on the news, somebody being misgendered and go on. It's just it's such a thing anymore. Hang on. Agree 100. I shouldn't have to walk on eggshells because you're not uncomfortable with yourself. Okay. So, like I said, I'm that's just my thought. And I'm not going to walk on eggshells. Now, am I going to sit here and blast all my, personal opinions about it? Now, obviously, when somebody brings it up, yeah, I'm going to, but there's a certain line you kind of have to.
You want to move that way further?
Oh, dude, all day long. All day long. And I could see DC being he's a Scorpion guy. I'm a Sub-Zero guy. I've always been a Sub-Zero fan.
Really?
But,
I like Reptile. Reptile.
DC hands down superior to Marvel. Dude, I can battle you on that. And why that is negative? No. Now I can see where you can have the debate about Deadpool being in a 100% ripoff of
Slade.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke.
But no,
There you go.
like I said, I kind of
Well, I was going to say though, Bill, when it comes,
we had this conversation I think just last week. When we were talking about the stereotypes and everything.
Mhm.
I don't judge. I try not to judge people. I get to know them. I judge you by your character. So if let's say, I meet somebody that would rather dress as a woman. Uh-oh.
Hey, Jay, what's up?
Speaking of women, how you doing, gorgeous? I'm not going to sit there and hate on them for that. I'm really not, okay.
Well,
Am I going to have questions? Why? Yeah, obviously, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to sit down. I'm still going to talk to you like you're an individual. I'm going to talk to you like you're a person. I'm going to talk, he said he sent you the audio, buddy.
Cool. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to find it right now. Where did you send it to? Oh, there we go. Found it.
I'm a judge of character.
Okay,
and even then, it's not that I'm judging you. I'm judging you, whether or not, we're going to, we can coincide, we can get along, Otherwise, I'm still going to be cordial to you, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go out of my way to be your best friend, nor am I going to go out of my way to avoid you. One of the people I work with said it best. They don't like to talk about politics. They don't like to talk about religion because they've got their own personal beliefs, and nothing they say, nothing I say or anybody else is going to say is going to change that. They're going to make up their own mind regardless of what, and that's fine. That really is. I mean, that's your prerogative at the end of the day.
Okay, how do I do this now? I'm trying to share the audio.
Yeah, and when you cross, by crossing me, that means again, we are actually doing very well. We have a hell of a good conversation going. I started extremely late, as you can tell. I promise everybody tonight I will not skimp on TikTok. We will definitely be on there. Dan is trying his best to get an audio brought up.
Yeah, okay, let's see if I can do this. Let's see here. How do I play this now?
No, I mean, I think if you really sit down and get to know somebody, you don't have to have everything in common. You can always find that one thing. At work, there's, for me and one of the people I used to work with when I worked at my old job, believe it or not, it was how we joked with each other. We didn't agree on movies, music, all sorts of different stuff. But that didn't mean I wasn't open to hear the type of stuff he listened to or the stuff he watched, But one of the things that, was the problem was he was so highly opinionated that he was definitely one of those ones where you could, I always use this analogy. You tell him, dude, 1 + 1 = 2, and he'll sit there and argue you till he is blue in the face. It doesn't matter. And you try to tell him, dude, it gets to a point where you're not discussing, you're not debating, you're arguing. Sometimes you just have to kind of agree to disagree. And this goes right back to everything that we've been talking about. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree and go about your business. Me, if somebody says, hey, that joke bothered me. Hey, something you said the other day, I want to, hey, can you not do that? When if they're going to be cool enough to turn around and say, at least come up to you in an appropriate way and say, hey, that bugged me, then you have to still be that person you have to be adult enough to go, I apologize. I will not do it again.
Hey, Bill, I think I got it
Yes.
now. You ready?
All right, guys. So apparently we've got a promo. Dan, this is where you go ahead and you plug what you got, buddy. What do we got?
How did I?
The stars have gone silent. Whispers of the past echo across forgotten worlds. And something ancient has begun to stir in the dark between galaxies. As the Universal Peacekeeping Federation struggles to hold the fragile balance of peace, unseen forces move to unravel it from within. A coded signal from deep space sets one crew on a collision course with destiny, where loyalty will be tested, secrets will surface, and the line between human and machine will blur. In a universe where light and shadow are one, Eclipse is the beginning of everything they thought was over. Universal Chronicles Eclipse, a novel by Dan Lee. Available November 16th on Amazon.
Well, since he did not want to tell us what we were getting ready to listen to and what was all about, if you guys are just tuning in, we have a published author on here. That book 2 is coming out November 16th. Dude, work with me here. You know, it's like, all right, go ahead and, but tell us what we're getting ready to listen to. Oh, we'll just hit play. It'll explain itself.
Right? There you go. Honestly, it's like, well, technically speaking, DC is the one who sent it to us and said, and you asked us to play it. So, yes, we're listening to Book 2's promo.
In a nutshell, guys, I mean, exactly. That's yeah. We just, he. So, in case you haven't read Book 1 yet, oh wait, you can get the audio from Dan. He just played it actually, and yeah, you did a good job there, buddy. So, I mean, I like what you did.
Yeah, that gave me chills. Actually, I'm like, oh, even I want to buy my own book now.
Oh, yeah, and you know whose voice that was too. Oh, bother. I was just getting ready to say, sounded great. Now, make the 16th already here. Time travel, if you will, please. If I didn't know better, you got a hell of a fan. I swear, she is like the most adorable fan we've got on here, dude. I love.
Well, I know she likes my writing. Like, let's put it this way. And I know we're running out of time. Well, actually, we're over time right now. But I will say this much: she has on Discord. She has a server where we role play, and I'm actually role playing a character right now who is a absent-minded mad scientist, and apparently I made him lovable. So I'm like, okay, that works. But yes, so Jordan, I will try to get the book out, but the thing is, I cannot time travel. You're just gonna have to wait for the 16th.
You got one more, just a little over a week. It's next Sunday, the release, and the book tour. The book tour starts when? Yeah, 4 days. Sorry, I'm way off. What do we got? 4 more days. So where are we at? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah, this Sunday. Sorry, this Sunday coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And you're just now coming out with the promo. Nice, good job, buddy. Nothing like waiting to the last second. I can't wait.
Yes. Well, hey, you know what? DC is the one who's working on it for me.
So what you're saying is the person that just put all that work into your promo took too long, in your opinion. You triggered.
No,
See, there's that trigger. There it is, right there. Can't make people happy.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh no, I'm making someone offended. Oh well. Moving on. Basically took the mad scientist screwdriver and made it a sentient being in the RP. That's true. here's a fun little. So basically, the scientist that she's talking about, that's my character. Like I said, it's a mad scientist. He's a absent-minded type scientist. I put some of my own personality into him. And, you know, at one point in time in the role-playing scenario, my character left a screwdriver that was sentient, because my character is such a mad scientist and such a brilliant scientist. He can hop from one dimension or reality or time to the next, or be everywhere at once, because he's that daft. He has his own little pocket dimension where he also has a zombie version of himself that gives him a hand every once in a while too. And he'll have arguments with a black hole about philosophy, and so it's a really wonky thing. Welcome to my head. But yeah,
at the end of the day, though, dude, honestly, I mean, we do get into some serious conversations, and anybody that's listening knows that. I mean, we literally, like, I mean, it's just a string. You never know which way it's going to go. It's never ending. You'll start with one topic, and that topic, you know, evolves into this, and this. I always try to, in a nutshell, round it back out. Before we do that, there is one thing we have not done, and I would be remiss if I did not play one quick video. And when we come back, we will do the final. We'll go ahead and wrap this up, or we'll do what we affectionately used to call the last shot. Oh, I said it. Pew pew. No, so guys, at the end of the day, I do everything I can to try and help my good friend here by promoting his book. I can't wait till Kat gets back. She needs to take it up to the local comic book store, because they do D&D and all this other stuff there. A lot of science fiction stuff goes on in there. I think that would be a good start, honestly. But before we wrap this up, guys, we are going to take one really quick break. And when we come back, we will do the last shot, as we used to call it. This is Resist the Temptation with the loudest silence. Jesus God. The loudest silence. If there's anything I am not, that's silent. This is their newest video and the final single to their, I believe it's their first EP. Hopefully we'll have these guys on here to explain some stuff here soon. Guys, check it out. Dan, everybody, we will be right back.
Through the years they hushed us, mutiny against the muted tongue, living bodies we don't own, a player power system.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. That was Resist the Temptation, our friends from Long Island, New York, with The Loudest Silence. Dan, I got to ask you something. It got chilly in here, so I finally went ahead and pulled the trigger. I love being able to say all this stuff. I pulled the trigger on turning the heat on. Can you hear that in the background at all?
No.
Then for right now, we're going to go ahead and stick with that bad boy because I'll tell you what, it dropped down pretty good. Hopefully at some point here, I can't wait to have those guys on the show. I really can. I've already talked to their guitarist, Dylan, quite a few times. For those of you that are on TikTok, check it out. He's been known to pop in there on occasion. And I want to thank Sammy Rose, who I should have, throw that out here to see if she was available to pop in. Dan, do me a favor. After we end this, stick around. So while I'm setting up the other camera for TikTok, I think the conversation tonight kind of inspired me for either next Wednesday or we'll figure it out. Maybe even Sunday. I don't know. So on that note, Dan, this is where you go ahead and you throw it out there what you got coming up.
By all means, yes, I got a couple of things coming out. My book comes out, my new book, Book 2, comes out this November 16th. It's Universal Chronicles Eclipse, Book 2. And if you haven't already read it, by all means, Book 1 is out, Universal Chronicles Extermination. Both of them, Book 1's out on Amazon, Book 2 is coming out on Amazon. Both of them, Book 1 and both of them are going to be available on hardcover, softcover, and Kindle. So by means, if you like a good read and you like sci-fi, check out my first book. And then check out the second one. I'm a writer. I'm not a freaking promotion guy.
Hey, look at it this way. I mean, if anything, we definitely got somebody in our comment. Actually, we said, you know what, Ninja? If you're still on here, I'm throwing this out to you, brother. You definitely need to get this book.
He does have book one.
Huh?
He has Book 1.
Does he have Book 1?
Yeah, he has Book 1. He's read it like multiple times already.
Okay. Just making sure. Because we have somebody else that likes to pop in here that, he's a good friend of yours, good fan of yours, and I know he doesn't have your book yet. Sorry, buddy. Yep, I backed that bus right up and over him.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
If you're listening right now, by all means, you can make fun of him, and I'll show you his baby face again if you want.
So on that note, like I said, stick around, Dan. We got a little bit of after party before we go. Yes, folks, we are getting ready to go on TikTok for all you that are on TikTok. I want to thank Jay for popping out there. He's read it more than me, apparently. And if you got, I'll tell you what, what I was saying earlier, that young lady right there, everybody here actually owns the book and has read it. She's given an awesome review. Man, one of these times we need to get Jay in here, sweetie. You really need to pop up here. Hopefully, maybe here in the near future. I don't know. Maybe you want to send out an idea for a topic you'd like to talk about. That's what we do here on Wednesday nights. We leave it open for whatever. And we love hearing from all you. Blue, thanks for popping in here. Dylan, Jay, Bobby Ryder. Man, we had quite a few. My cousin Nancy. Make sure you check us out tomorrow night for our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots Sports Edition. Yeah, it's getting tight, and I need to pick on Blue a little bit because he did his math wrong. And hey, Blue, I've got it on audio. I believe it was just 2 weeks ago. You told me I was winning the NFL, so you need to go back and redo your math there, buddy. Love you, though.
Fighting words there, Blue.
Yeah. So, anyways, yes, our Thirsty Thursday thoughts and shots, always a good time. We have our Sunday night weekend hangover. It's just basically our weekly recap and Oaken talk.
Don't worry, Blue.
8 days
I
till
got
Cat
you.
comes home. I know, man. And, I'm trying to figure out a nice little welcome home for her. I really am.
Well, let's show her this picture. I should send you this picture so that way you can print it out and then that way she can always have it.
Jay, tell beautiful, tell him what he needs to do now. If you're going to do that, you always got to do the other one. Show the real me.
Okay. There's where you. Where did I put that picture now? That's the thing
of
right
course,
here.
yeah. The other one you lost.
Okay, fine. Here you go.
Yeah, beef cat. Oh, no. There we go. You know, now that I'm really looking at that, look how small my head is compared to the rest of the body. Dude, come on.
Well, hey, you know what?
I wish I could look that jacked again.
Hey, either you're gonna be muscled or you're gonna be a intelligent person. Apparently, you can't be both.
You need. I'll tell you what. You need to make one up where I look like James Bond. I need the tuxedo.
Ruin the AI program I'm using.
It's AI, not Miracle. I know. I got you. But yes, guys, Sunday night weekend hangover. It's our weekly recap, and as well as we do an open talk as well on Sunday nights. Looking forward to Kat coming back. Monday Night Bartender, always a good time. You never know what we're going to make up. Our boy Hooper will probably be joining us again. Looking for more people to join us at the bars. Make sure you send me out some drink recipes. Send me out some, even if it's just, hey, use, say, hey, can you make something with brandy? Can you make something with vodka? Just send an idea out.
I am not mean. Okay.
No, he's Canadian.
I'm Canadian. I'm being politely mean. How's that sound?
And then, of course, folks, we rounded out with our Wednesday night open bar. I always say that only because we rounded out with the show that I'm ending with that whatever night it is. So on that note, guys, let's keep tradition alive. Oh, Kat's not here to freak out whenever I do that.
Bill, for once, I am going to join you.
Well, thank you, sir. We are actually, so everybody can see this one, we're going to go full screen on this. There we go. Everything we say on this show is just our opinion. But then again,
It
Good,
could be
Dan.
or the voices in Bill's head.
both are dangerous. Woo! The only problem is now I got to dip out of this to do this. Guys, like I said, if you're on TikTok, we're heading there next. Looking forward to talking to you guys. See you soon. Dan, stick around. Enjoy.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloading. The bar is always open, but no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking.